One night on stage. By most accounts of that fateful evening, Ella stood petrified in the spotlight when called to the stage. She felt sweat beginning to trickle down the side of her face. She peered down at her heavy, scuffed work boots. The audience began shuffling rapidly in the seats. They wanted a show, and the frightened teenager didn't seem as though she was going to give it to them. The contest host ran Cooper his from rings. Do something. He shook his head in frustration. Before the amateur night at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, a neighborhood in New York City, was going downhill quickly thanks to this girl. Then Ella leaned over to Benny Carter, whose famous band was accompanied in the talent show contestant on that cold night in 1934. "Will you please play Judy?" she requested. "Sure, kid. I don't see how you're going to dance in a tune like that, but whatever you say." Talking center stage again. Ella cleared her throat as the music started. Still nervous, her voice cracked on the very first note. The audience howled for a collective moan and began booing and yelling for her to get off the stage. Ella's heart beating so fast that she thought it might explode. Seeing her panic, the band stopped the music and waited. Ella looked at Benny gratefully, took a deep breath, and nodded. The music started over. Ella closed her eyes and stopped hearing the boo, focusing on the sound of her mother's favorite song. She was back in her kitchen at home. Her mother was alive again. Ella was dancing around the kitchen while her mom sang. When Ella opened her eyes, after the last note floated away, the audience was still. Ella thought she disappointed them. Panic rose up her throat. She turned to flee when one person started to applaud, and then another. Thunderous applause erupted throughout the Apollo Theater. Ella looked at Benny. "You killed them, kid. They want more. Hear that? What are you going to give us an encore?" Before she could answer, he turned away from her and launched his band to the object of my affection, without missing a beat, with a grin that nearly split her face. Ella began to sing again. Looking back now, it's clear why Ella Fitzgerald, who won 30 Grammys Awards in her lifetime, is known as the First Lady of Song. The First Lady's early years. Ella Jane Fitzgerald was born on April 25, 1917 in Newport News, Virginia. Her parents, William and Temperance Tempe, parted away soon after her birth. Ella and her mother moved to Yonkers, New York, and eventually lived with Tempe's new boyfriends, Joe da Silva. Joe charged part-time, and Tempe worked at a laundromat and catered on the side. They had a child, Francis, in 1923. Ella and Francis remained close throughout their lives. Ella decided by the third grade that she wanted to become a professional dancer, and she often entertained people by dancing on street corners. However, Ella also loved singing. She made friends at school by giving realistic impersonation of great singers. Louis Armstrong and Connie Boswell were two of her favorites. When she got a little older, Ella and her friend Charles often snuck into the Savoy Ballroom in Harlem, where they spun the latest dance steps until they had mastered. By age 15, Ella and Charles were performing their routine class around Yonkers. Ella was a paid dancer, but then tragic struck. Ella's life changed dramatically in 1932 when her mother, Tempe, died from a heart attack. A few months later, Joe also suffered a heart attack and died, leaving Ella and Francis to move in their aunt in Harlem. During this time, Ella grades stopped. She missed a great deal of school. Eventually, Ella was caught skipping school by transui officers, people whose job is to make sure kids were attending school. The authorities sent Ella to live at the Riverdale Authority Association, a reform school. Ella rebelled against the rigid rules of the reform school. It is suspected that her teachers beat and abused her. She ran away from school in the fall of 1934. As a teenager, Ella did not have housing. She struggled to make a living by earning tips from the singing and dancing in an area of Harlem known as Back Broadway. By 1930s, black people made up most of Harlem's population. Well-known entertainers perform in places like Apollo Theater. Lesser-known performers entertained passersby on the street. Talent auditions were gaining popularity in Harlem nightclubs at that time. After submitting her name for several contests, Ella was chosen to perform at the Apollo Theater Amateur Night. The prize was $25. Today that will be about $500. That night, November 21, 1934, 17-year-old Ella Fitzgerald found that true calling in her life was not dancing but singing. The audience loved her, and she loved them. Although she won the Apollo Amateur Night, some thought Ella would never make it as a singer. That was likely because of her appearance. Ella wore work clothes and boots. She did not have a humorous style people expect from a famous singer. Having spent several months caring for herself without a home, she did not have the means to dress differently. The lady with some moves, despite the racism she faced. Fitzgerald became one of the world's most popular jazz vocalists. She even helped perfect a new form of jazz singing known as scat. Using only her voice, Fitzgerald imitated a various orchestral instruments. She combined this skill with improvised photonic sound like boo, doobie, bee, and bebop. Unlike some other scat singers, Fitzgerald was unable to keep her voice perfectly in tune as it fluctuated up and down the musical scale. He had a musical skill called relative pitch. This is the ability to recognize any note played and to sing it perfectly in tune every time. Relative pitch is far more useful than just having perfect pitch, which is the ability to identify and sing a single note upon hearing it. The new level of artistically and water scat singing earned Fitzgerald the respect of other big-name performers, including Frank Sinatra and Mel Cosby, Nat King Cole, Louis Armstrong, and Milton. In fact, toned up the high pitchness of song. Some of Fitzgerald's biggest fans, including celebrities like actress Marilyn Monroe and singer Peggy Lee. The lady on tour. Black musicians like Fitzgerald face difficulty when traveling from city to city because they often encounter racism. For example, a flight crew for Fitbit to relinquish her seat on an airplane to some white patron. This caused the cancellation of the engagement in Sydney, Australia, because she couldn't get to Australia for 3 days. But it wasn't the first time either. Several years before, Fitzgerald had been traveling by train. After standing on feet for hours, the only section where black people were allowed to sit in overcrowded train car. Fitzgerald finally spotted a seat in the white only section and sat down. The conductor promptly scolded her and ordered to leave the section. Thorpe Jacobs, who worked with Fitzgerald, said that despite her fame, Fitzgerald remained a very grounded person. Jacob often told the story about when she and Fitzgerald were in New York City for a television interview, and Jacobs wanted to stop and getting something to eat. She told Fitzgerald to go on ahead, but Fitzgerald was hungry too. Jacobs said she was just going to grab a hot dog from the street vendor. Fitzgerald said she'd come along. While they were eating, a man walked up to Fitzgerald and told her that she just looked like Ella Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald looked at the man straight in the eye and said that people told her all the time before walking away, hot dog in hand. A compassionate woman as well. Fitzgerald spent much of her time and money helping children facing educational and economic disadvantage. She has offered several days programs for children and participated in numerous fundraisers. And Alice was very devoted to her granddaughter Alice. The curtain closed before she died in 1996 at the age of 79. Fender has sold over 40 million records and performed the Carnegie Hall 26 times. She had appeared in movies and guest starred on numerous television shows. She was the first black artist to headline in television to headline at the New York world famous Copenhagen Club, and she was represented with the National Medal of Arts by the President of the United States and awarded the French equivalent, the Commander of Art and Letters in the world. She holds ordinary doctorates in music from prestigious universities such as Yale and Princeton and Dartmouth. Fitzgerald, a girl from Jonker who lost her mother at a young age, reserved despite racism, sexism, and classism. She had received what a few artists have ever done. She became a legend that she has still fans of every age, race, and background.
Yeah.